Oracles, how's everyone doing today? The market's a bit red again. This is something we had discussed last week. We were expecting today to potentially be red, long weekend, no real news that was going to bring us to a point where we were going to go green today. And so sure enough, we were pretty darn ugly today. So what do you do when the dip just keeps on dipping? Well, this is something that we had talked about before, which is have cash and cash reserves on hand. We don't know when we're going to hit the bottom. There are signs that we're going to get into that are pointing to potentially a bottom coming, but in the meantime, we don't know. We don't know if it's going to actually be there. And you just want to have these cash flows coming in, cash reserves, opportunities to, buy into this dip. And for those of you who, maybe you're running out of cash reserves and you're waiting, well, there are some signs we can look to that may show us when the market is going to be turning around for us to be able to then buy back in as it comes back up. So there seems to still be quite a bit of fear surrounding inflation and the Fed's move to be raising interest rates. The 10-year Treasury was up to 1.875 today. That is much higher than we have been seeing. So these things in themselves are just kind of turning people's heads to selling off, especially those small caps, lots of the tech stocks. That's why the NASDAQ was down over 2% today. And Tesla actually was fairly immune to it most of the day. It fell early. I got lucky and bought in at 10.16, ran up to almost 10.60, but then as the day traded on, it came down and it fell down almost 2% on the day. So it was not immune to the entire day. At the end of the day, it was still down and in the red. But what are we looking for a bottom coming? Well, I like to look at the RSI as one of the markers and the key metrics that I look at. And in the RSI, anything over 70 is overbought and under 30 is oversold. A lot of stocks are under 30. This is something we had talked about last week, where a significant amount of stocks are between 25 and 45. Well, many of these stocks are now even lower. Everything that was between 40 and 45 is now under 40. And lots of stuff that was between 30 and 40 is now under 30. So the RSI being oversold tells me that we're getting to a point where we may be starting to turn the corner. It's not going to be one of these V bounces, I don't think, but at least we can kind of see, all right, we're getting to the point where we're oversold. The market is definitely highly overreacting to a lot of this news that's going on. So eventually we are going to hit a point where we hit the bottom, level off, and then start to climb out of this. I mean, even the SPY is at 38. So we're definitely getting to this oversold territory. Lots of people are shorting the market because of this. And when you see a lot of people starting to do the same thing, that just means that there's going to be big money that likes to turn these trends, because big money is what leads the way. So a lot of these people are doing this, and now big money will pull the rug out from a lot of people and start moving the market in the other direction. How long? I don't know. We have seen a lot of head fakes going on lately, so I'm still going to play this very cautious. And in playing it cautiously, like I had mentioned before, my personal moves, I'm not a financial advisor. These are just the plays that I am doing with my own portfolio. Is I've got some high dividend stocks that I'm working on and some ETFs. I've got some IRA. I put some money into Tesla. I'm going to start working on potentially flipping that to more shares. And then in my main portfolio, it's just buy little bits of this dip as it comes down. And anytime I'm going to get profitable, I am waiting for this turnaround. And I think the entire year is going to be reflective of ups and downs in a roller coaster ride. And there are some stocks I do not want to be in on a roller coaster ride. So if I get myself to a point of profitability, or maybe close enough where I just I want to put that cash somewhere else, I will be selling out of those to build up those cash reserves. And I'm really going to shrink my portfolio down to fewer stocks. And the stocks that I'm going to be putting it into are Tesla, Apple, Amazon. These good long-term stocks that are relatively stable, and I'm aware that Tesla definitely moves a lot more than most of them, but Tesla I am still playing long-term for 10 years, so I think we can get some really excellent pricing as we hit these dips in Tesla as we go forward. But just remember that Tesla usually moves more than the broader market. So when we see the market come down, other than today, a lot of times if the market comes down 1%, Tesla may be down 2 or 3%. When the market goes green, it's the opposite direction. So, it just happens to move more than the market, but it will move a lot, and you have a good chance for some swings in Tesla. But again, these swings are kind of like, you're going up and down, but long term, you're going uphill. So you're still going up in the long term. There's just a lot of ups and downs along the way. And so we can see that over the next couple of weeks going into earnings. But I think showing by the way it looked today, we could have some run coming. Again, don't know. This is my hopes and what I do think is going to happen, but I'm preparing for anything. I'm definitely at the point where I'm not going to try and guess what tomorrow is going to bring. I'm just going to be ready for it. We discussed many a time about being an agile investor, and being an agile investor is being able to handle whatever happens during the day. And if we get a green day, awesome. For me, I just enjoy the green days. I'm like, yay, we're going green. I'm going to monitor some things, check the technicals, make sure fundamentals are still good. And then if we hit the red, I will see if it's a buying opportunity. And if it is, I will buy a little bit more. And for me, this is just how I'm going to take it day by day, because again, with the way we've been moving, don't know what's going to go. So I'm going to be focusing a lot more on long-term projections. And where do I think these stocks are going to be going long-term? And if I think they're going to do well long-term, I will determine, all right, do I want to buy some now, or do I want to wait a little bit? And again, I like my strategy that I've been using with Tesla. It has been working really well for me. And for those of you who don't know, my strategy with Tesla is I will add $15 every single day. I can do fractional trading here. So I do $15 every day, and then for every percent that it drops, I will add another $15. I have my entire portfolio broken down by percentages, and I have different categories for stocks that I'm holding long, stocks that I, maybe medium term or tradable stocks. And I break those all down by percentages. So for me, I can easily go into my fractional trading account and just determine what dollar amount each one of those is and adjust it. And I can just let that go every single day. And because I do work full time, if I don't get an opportunity to buy more in a dip, I have still invested on that day where it dipped. So I don't really miss out, I just miss out on a little extra. And the reason I do this is because it is proven that dollar cost averaging is the best way long term to improve your portfolio and get the most out of your gains. And so for me, because I cannot follow the market every single day, this is the best way for me to do that. And at the end of the day, I still monitor, see where things are at, see if I want to make any adjustments. Maybe there's something I want to sell out, but going forward, this is going to be the way I'm going to start taking my portfolio. Instead of doing a day-to-day kind of figure out what's going on, I will just be like, all right, these are the stocks I want to be in long term. This is where I will put my money for these stocks long term, and then just monitor daily. And now, while I do refer to myself as Oracle Tim, I am not an oracle. I do not have psychic abilities. While I did happen to catch daily bottoms in Tesla stock 3 times in the last couple of weeks, I chalked it up to luck, and just really it's my strategy. We hit a certain percentage, it dropped 3%, so I bought in. And that's it. So, maybe that just happens to be a freak pattern that the stock trades in. Not sure. So for me, that's how I'm doing it. And for those of you who ask, what do I think the stock's going to do tomorrow? Nobody knows. I can go with my best guess, but like I said, for me, I'm just going to be paying attention to being ready for anything and playing it that way. And still going into earnings, I still think Tesla's going to have outstanding earnings. I think they're going to do well. I think the stock is going to do well from earnings. But still going into that, I do not know. I'm planning on it. I'm hoping for it. I do think we're going to have some great news. For me, the most important thing that we're going to get out of earnings is, what are the numbers? What is the roadmap looking like? And how does that set the foundation for the fundamentals for the next 12 months? And when you start looking at a stock based on its fundamentals rather than its daily stock price, you definitely take your emotions out of it. Because if you're going to play it long term, the daily price doesn't mean anything at all. You're playing it long term, so hey, how are the fundamentals looking today? For Tesla, they're looking better and better every single day. So every day that the fundamentals look better, that means that if the price comes down, that just means it's a better bargain for you to get in at. That's just the way I view it. And so going forward, that's the best way I can say for all of you to look at it is, just look at the fundamentals of whatever companies that you're investing in. And if those fundamentals are remaining strong and you're playing it long, then, ignore the daily price action on it and just, go with your instincts and the research you have done for these stocks that you're playing long. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think we are getting close to a bottom, being as the RSI is coming down so much on the entire market itself? Let me know if you think we're going to see a turnaround soon. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. There I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock information, and all of the trades that I make on a daily basis. Thank you all so much. Have a great one.